Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hey, folks, I've always said that we were a couple animals sort of a zoo. Well, it's official, man. We got a zoo now. This little rascal here with the black face, that's my buddy Ruger. That's my buddy Ruger. And then this little girl right here with the white, that is Nala. Nala and Ruger are new additions to our family. And we're excited to have them. I hope you guys are having a fantastic Monday. I was hoping that they would want to be ready to do some sleeping, and hopefully they will settle down and do some sleeping soon. But yeah, these are officially the new animals that are part of the family that bringing us a lot of fun and joy. And I am excited for today's show for a lot of different reasons. We're going to talk about a few different things. I don't have just one topic that I'm going to kind of teach on today. I've got a few different things on my mind. I think you guys are going to enjoy the show. And welcome. Good morning, man. I hope you are all doing fantastic. I want to really start off the show by giving a big shout out and a great big huge hey guys. Hey, we got a show going on here, and you guys are noisy. Yeah, that's a noisy. But I want to give a big shout out to Greg Nowak. Him and his wife invited Deanna and I to go out to an amazing restaurant in Las Vegas this last weekend. And so on Friday night, we met up. We spent a couple of hours breaking bread and having an amazing meal. And then he would not let me, he whooped out his credit card and paid for the meal before I even had a chance to, just think about what was going on. And I just wanted to thank you, Greg. My wife and I had an absolutely amazing time with you in Kaya. And it was really wonderful. And I do want to let all of the rest of you guys know that we really love spending time with you guys. So it was a real treat, to get to meet Greg and his wife and spend time with them in person. And, one of the things that Greg mentioned was that he doesn't have a whole lot of friends, a whole lot of people involved in crypto. And so, it was kind of cool that he could, sometimes when you're speaking crypto, it sounds like Chinese to the average person. And so, I could tell that we really enjoyed having each other to kind of bounce ideas off of and to talk to. And so, folks, we got Bitcoin 2025 coming up next month. I'm going to have a discount code in the descriptions of all of my videos here very, very soon to give you guys an opportunity. If you're going to come to Bitcoin and you haven't bought a ticket yet, you can buy a ticket. But we're definitely going to do, some meeting up. We're going to break some bread. I told Greg I was going to take him out for some steak here in Bitcoin 2025. So if anybody else is going to be in Vegas for Bitcoin 2025, please let me know. Don't be shy, guys. Don't be bashful. I love spending time with new people, especially those of you that are big supporters of the channel. Okay, you guys, I'm going to put you down. Try not to make too much noise. I was hoping that they would fall asleep, but that doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon. We shall see. But anyways, I just want to say thank you to Greg. We had just an absolutely amazing time with you, and looking forward to developing a strong friendship. I think that Greg and his wife are going to become good friends of Deanna and mine over the years. We're going to end up taking trips together and doing a lot of cool things as crypto progresses and our wealth progresses. And I would like to have that kind of a relationship with more and more of you. So with that, good morning, Mr. Eric Bernstein. We haven't had a chance to meet in person, but you're another one that I really, really, man, you got a special place in my heart, Eric. I love you. Thank you for being here. And I look forward to hopefully meeting you and your family one of these days in person too. And Mr. John, I know, John, you're probably, I don't know if you're ever going to make it over here to, Las Vegas. I know that you're all the way across the world, but John, I appreciate your support being here every day. Thank you for being here. And if you are ever over here in Las Vegas, please let me know. So with that, folks, let me get into some of the things that are important to me today. So the first thing I want to talk to you about briefly is just mindset. Mindset is everything. You know, I see it all the time, all day long. You know, you're kind of watching it once you're aware. And it comes out in a lot of little ways. But like, seriously, this stuff kind of drives me crazy, and I'm hoping to share it and impart it on with you guys so that if this is you, don't, oh, come on, guys, don't, just knocking my lights all over the place. If I say something and it feels like I'm talking directly to you, don't get offended. I'm not putting you down. It's just awareness is half the battle. But like literally, I walk into a store the other day with a big smile on my face, and the guy says, you know, welcome to the store. And I say, hey, thank you. How are you doing today? And he says, oh, not too terrible. And like, seriously, guys, you might think that I'm weird or that I'm crazy, but you can literally tell in most cases how successful a person is by the way that they answer that question when you ask them how they're doing. If somebody says not too terrible, run for your life, man. That is not a person that you want to, you know, probably spend a lot of time with. And if they're oh my goodness, if they're a family member, then you gotta live with it a little bit. But if there's somebody that you can choose whether or not you really want to get to know or not, I would probably recommend keeping a distance. You know, the other one that drives me crazy is when somebody says, oh, not too bad. You know, like, hey, how you doing today? Oh, not too bad. Like, what does that mean? Not too bad. Like, you're a little bit bad, but you're not too bad. Like, that's a horrible thing to say. And I'm not putting people down. It's a kind of a, you know, people have been taught, you've been taught, like, why are you so happy? Like, I can't tell you how many times when somebody asks me and I'm like, man, I'm doing phenomenal today. How are you? And they kind of give me like a weird look. Like they don't normally ask me. They don't say, you're doing phenomenal. They just kind of give you that weird look, and you can tell that they're kind of, you know, thinking it. Like, they're like, what is wrong with this guy? Is he, you know, is he on some cocaine or something? What is, you know, why is he doing phenomenal? Because you could probably go all day long and ask 25 people throughout the day. You know, you could say, hey, how you doing today? And you probably get 24, maybe even 25 less than enthusiastic responses. If you go ask 25 people, how are you doing today? You'll probably get 24 or 25. I'm doing all right. You know, I'm having an okay day. I'm not doing too bad. I'm not doing too terrible. But if you count on your hands, how many people say, man, I'm having a fantastic day, best day ever. I'm doing phenomenal today. What an amazing day to be alive. Man, today is incredible. I'm having an incredible day. Thanks for asking. You might find one person. And I'm telling you, that's the person that you want to get to know in your life. When you run into the person and you ask them how they're doing and they say, man, I'm doing fantastic. I'm having an incredible day. How are you? That's the person you don't want to walk away from without getting their phone number. Like, you want to be around that kind of energy. And most likely they've probably got something going on in life. Those are the kind of friends that you want to make. But on the subject of mindset, some of you may have heard this story before, but I'm going to give you guys just a brief story, a little bit of a mindset story. And so back in the old days, you know, probably like say 1950s, 1960s or so, this shoe company sent 2 salesmen back to this, a fairly third world company or third world country to see if there was a market for their shoes. And the first salesman went there, was there for a day, and he calls his boss and says, hey, boss, nobody here wears shoes, so please send me money for a return ticket. I'm coming home. The second salesman goes and to the same area. He calls his boss later that day and he says, hey, boss, send me every pair of shoes you got. And what in the world is going on here? Sorry, I don't know if I cut out. But anyways, the second salesman calls his boss and says, boss, send me every pair of shoes you can spare, because in this country, they don't wear shoes. It's an incredible opportunity. And folks, the moral of that story is it seems so simple, but the first guy had a negative mindset. He saw a bunch of people that didn't wear shoes and decided to tuck his tail between his legs and come home. The other guy saw, a bunch of people that didn't wear shoes and thought, man, this is the most incredible opportunity, in the world. And I see it in my everyday life all over the place. I have employees that work for me, and they message companies and they set up meetings so that I can talk with the founders and talk with the projects and vet the projects, check them out, looking for sponsorship deals, and it's been rough. I agree. The last couple months in the market have been rough, but I've got a couple of people that really, they're so negative. They don't think that anybody's going to be interested. And so therefore, nobody has been. And I'm here to tell you that even in this cryptocurrency market, I've had agencies reach out to me and say, hey, we've got this project that wants to get onto your channel. Hey, we've got this project that wants to get onto your channel, and so on and so forth. There's been 4 or 5 people that have reached out to me that want to get onto the channel. So I'm telling these guys that work for me, hey, there's people out there that are still excited about getting exposure, that are still going to be excited about getting on a YouTube channel that has, 250,000 plus subscribers. But if you are out there messaging people thinking that they're not going to be interested, you're right. And that's a hard thing for a lot of people to wrap your mind around. You're thinking to yourself, I'm sitting behind a computer and I'm sending out text messages. How in the world does the attitude that I have while I'm doing it mean anything? It's a text message. But I promise you, people can feel your tone. They can feel the vibe, man. Vibration and frequencies are a real thing. And, I don't want to talk about this too much, but it's I wanted to let you know, I was listening to an audio this morning that talked about personal development and how powerful and how important it is. And I want to go back to the #1 crypto YouTuber in the whole world, in my opinion, that I'm on record as having said this, and I'll say it again. If you only had time to listen to one cryptocurrency YouTuber, the guy that you ought to be listening to is crypto lifer Sam Price. And why do I say that? Because he has had the success. He has made millions and millions and millions of dollars. He built his business through the bear market. He is teaching people how to make millions of dollars. Now, I want you to watch me too. And I love the fact that you guys watch me. And yes, I do believe that I provide some incredible value and that watching me is going to be a blessing in your life. But if you had to choose between me and Crypto Lifer, go watch Crypto Lifer. Maybe I shouldn't say this publicly, especially since right now his live stream is going on. He starts a little earlier than me, but he goes for 2 hours. So I think he starts at 8, I start at 9, but he goes until 10. So from 9 to 10, he's also going live. And here I am telling you, turn me off and go watch him. But folks, the other part of it is that he shares in his private group a gentleman named Jim Rohn. He's listening to Jim Rohn every single day. He's working on his mind. He understands frequency. He understands manifestation. He understands, the law of attraction. He understands the power of working out and exercising and taming his mind by taming his body through, rigorous exercise on a daily basis. He's got the whole package. From what I can see, he's incredibly happily married. He's got beautiful children. He's healthy. He's rich, and he understands personal development. But folks, it's no accident that he is the #1 guy, in my opinion, in crypto. The other thing is he's been going for almost 5 years straight without a day off. I love me, but I work 3 days. I do this channel Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then sometimes with extracurricular, videos, you'll see me, a 4th or 5th time. He literally goes live Monday through Friday every single day, Monday through Friday, and then he goes live twice on the weekends. Saturday and Sunday, he goes live twice. So he's going live 9 times a week. And he's done it every day now for almost 1,500 days, I believe he's at. He's like closing in on 5 years without a day off. That's through sickness. That's through traveling. That's through having babies. I think that during this span, his wife has had 2 babies. I think one of his children was before the YouTube channel, and at least 2 of his children are after the YouTube channel. So he's had, both of his parents passed away during that lifespan. So he's had death in the family. He's had new life in the family. He's had sickness. He's had traveling, and he's never missed a day. So why in the world wouldn't you watch him? And once again, folks, please don't all just rush over to his channel and forget about little old Brad Varnell. But I'm telling you, the reason that he is so successful is because of the books that he reads and the information that he listens to. This Jim Rohn is the godfather of personal development. So folks, like if you are not reading at least 10 pages a day in a good, high quality mindset book or something that is teaching you the skills, a sales skill, a communication skill, how to be healthier, something that is going to improve your life, you're really missing the boat. And then I've always said that your car should be a drive time university. When you're in your car, in my opinion, if you're not a multimillionaire, you should be listening to YouTube videos, whether it's one like this. If you're in your car today driving to work and you're listening, fantastic. But you should also listen to some stuff like Myron Golden and Ed Milet. And, find your tribe, find the people that you like, that you resonate with. Like I like Andy Elliott, but he's a little bit out there and he's pretty aggressive for some people. And he cusses a little bit more than I even like. And so, for some Christians, he can really rub people the wrong way. I like Brad Lee. But my point is Jim Rohn is like an old school kind of guy. You can't go wrong with Jim Rohn. I listened to hundreds of hours of Jim Rohn and I've never heard him cuss once. He's just there and presents his points very eloquently. But folks, if you're sitting here today and your life isn't the way that you want it to be, I'm telling you that the number one thing that you can do is spend more time reading the right books and listening to the right people. And it's never been easier. Like back when Jim Rohn was popular, we were back in the cassette days. Like you literally had to listen to a tape cassette. There's not a whole lot of video of him because a lot of the stuff that he did was back long enough that they didn't catch a ton of it on video. There is some video, but when you see a video, it's like from 1980. You watch a video. But that's the cool thing about personal development, folks. He's talking back in 1980, 45 years ago. And everything that he says is just as absolutely massively important to listen to today as it was 45 years ago, because a lot of this stuff just doesn't change. The truth is the truth is the truth is the truth. The truth was true 50 years ago, 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago, and the truth is going to be true 50 years from now, 100 years from now, 1,000 years from now. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Time for a quick sip of the Dutch Bros, man. Dave P., good morning, my friend. Hope you are doing fantastic. Thank you very much. Yeah, I appreciate that. Very, very much appreciate you guys reminded folks to hit that like button. It means the world to the channel. Folks, if you're brand new here today, somehow this got suggested to you and you're watching this video, you're thinking it was a cryptocurrency channel and you're wondering what in the world, this guy hasn't said anything about crypto. Believe me, we do crypto too. But today, Monday Mindset Mastery is all about mastering this 6 inches between your ears so that you can have long-lasting generational success, not a quick hit in crypto where you make a bunch of money and then you lose it just as fast because you're not the person that could handle it. But we are going to talk a little bit of crypto today. I mentioned that we were going to skip around a little bit. So I do want to thank all of you really from the bottom of my heart. When I talked about Sosana on the live stream Wednesday, when we got off that live stream, over 30 of you had went and joined the Sosana Telegram group. And that was massive, man. I really appreciated that. You guys really killed it. Now, I hope that some of you actually followed through and bought some tokens. I put $100 into this token probably about 4 or 5 days before I actually had a chance to promote it. And that $100 is worth almost $2,000 at this point. But the project still has an absolutely, minuscule market cap. Let me see if I can get over here to this spot here on Sosana and see. So yeah, we can see there was a buy right here just recently. So this thing is still sitting at a 15. Oh, I got to share my screen. Let me add this to the stage. So yeah, you can see here, this was a buy that just happened recently. Person bought, $100 worth with sold roughly. Long story short, though, the market cap, it's sitting at 17 cents, and the market cap is showing at 15 million. But they have it a little bit wrong because that's the fully diluted market cap. Right now, only about 50% of the token supply is in circulation. So that market cap is really closer to $7.5 million. I believe this project is going to do absolutely massive, massive numbers. So long story short, right here in the beginning of this video, for those of you that haven't joined their Telegram group yet, I would appreciate it. They've got a great way to sift through the bots and get real people in their Telegram channel. And it's through this referral link. Everybody that has a nice Tim. So Tim says, all I can say is thank you because my 100 is now like $330. So that is awesome. So Tim, don't forget to go vote on a token today, because if you vote on the winning token, you're going to get an airdrop of that token. So we're going to go into this a little bit, because the reason that it's important, even though today is Monday Mindset, to talk about this is because the mechanism that I believe is going to make Sosana so successful is actually happening right now as we speak. And so you're not too late. So the first thing that I would like to ask for you guys to do is go join the Telegram group through this link. That should be a hyperlink, but if it's not, I also put this link at the very top of the description of this video. So if you're watching this video and you haven't joined the Sosana Telegram group, please do that real quickly. It only takes a few seconds. You pop in there. I think it asks you for your email. Then it asks you to join Telegram. You can also earn some points by going and following them on Twitter and doing a couple other tasks, and you could potentially end up earning some free Sosana. You'll also get your own referral link. So once you're in the Telegram group, you can share your referral link and invite people into the Telegram group, and you could potentially earn some Sosana by inviting people into the Telegram group. But so Tim, let's go into the mechanism. So the thing that I love about this token and what makes it so powerful is if you own $500 worth of the token, you can nominate any project on the Solana blockchain, and then it's going to go to a vote. So this started on March 31st, and it ended at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern yesterday. So in that first 2 weeks, you guys can see here, these are the tokens that got nominated. These are the tokens that you can vote on. And there was, 13 of them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah. So there's 13 tokens that got nominated. Now, that you had to have $500 worth of the tokens to nominate a token. So now these 13 people that nominated a token, anybody that owns $50 worth of the token or more can vote on one of these projects. And the winner, if you vote, let's just say that you vote for Render, and Render ends up winning the popular vote. So right now there are 22 total votes. I think that by 4 p.m. this afternoon, that's going to go up. There's only about 150 holders right now, though. So I don't know how much more it's going to go up. But let's just say that you voted on Render and Render ends up winning. Well, guys, the prize pool is 28.52 SOL. So 28.52 times Solana's price of 128 is $3,650 in this pool. $500 of that is going to go to the person that nominated the winning token. So they're going to get $500. One of these 13 people are going to get $500 in Sosana for nominating the token that ended up being the winner. And now the remaining $3,000 is going to get split up amongst the people that voted for the winning token. Well, look, I mean, like if you do 22 divided into $3,000, it's over $100 a person. Once again, I think the vote is going to go up, but let's be also, I mean, if there's 13 projects here, then the average vote would only be a little less than 2 per project. Like if each project got the same amount of votes, there'd be 2 votes for every project. So I think it's fairly safe to assume that, let's just say that 50% of the vote was on one token, which is probably extremely high. That would make, say, 10 people that voted for the winning token. So that means that when they announce the winning token today at 4 p.m. today, in just, what is it? It's not even, it's 9:30 a.m. So you've got like 4, 5, 6 hours. So in the next 6 hours, they're going to pick the winner. Those people that voted for the winning token, love you, son. Have a great day, buddy. Those people that voted for the winning token are probably going to get $100 to $300. And the cool thing is they're going to get it in the token that they voted for. So let's say that Render is the token that is the winner. They're going to take that SOL. They're going to take that $3,100 in SOL. They're going to go over to Radium. They're going to buy $3,100 worth of Render tokens. And then they're going to airdrop your percentage, your fair share. If there's 10 winners, they're going to take, the 3,100 divided by 10 and send you $300 worth of Render. And so it is not too late to go buy $50 worth of this token and vote today on one of these projects. So full transparency, they don't have a mechanism right now to keep people from gaming the system, if you will. They're working on it, but they respectfully ask you to only put $50 in one wallet and vote for one project. They obviously can't technically, right now, there's no way that they can police that, but they're very much asking people to have integrity. But they also told me that if somebody wants to buy $500 worth and nominate, multiple tokens, that they can do that. And so these are my 2 tokens right here. If you guys want to, if you own tokens and you want to help me win the 500 in Sosana, if I win and win the $500 in Sosana, I'm going to do a giveaway with $100 worth of that Sosana. So if I win and I get $500 in Sosana, I'm going to be doing giveaways on these live streams and giving back at least $100 worth of the Sosana. Maybe I'll even decide to do more, but I guarantee to do at least 100. Render is one of my picks, and Nosana is my second pick. So if you vote for Nosana or Render and they win, then you're helping yourself, because I'm going to be doing a giveaway for the community. But those 2 tokens are the ones that I picked because I believe that they're both solid, great long-term projects. Some of these are kind of like, I wonder, like, let's farty. Like, I can't imagine voting for let's farty. Some of these that have the pump fun at the bottom of them, like some of these are pump fun tokens, I think, so like this one here, 42069 coin is a pump fun coin. I'm not going to vote for a pump fun coin. This Let's Farty Party is a pump fun coin. So you go through and vote for whatever one you want to vote for. I don't know what's going to win, to be honest, because it's kind of a fun, degenerate, kind of a meme coin, kind of a vibe. A meme coin might very well win. I think that I think that if I wanted to, I could have gamed the system. I could have been really promoting this harder. I could have been getting a bunch of my community signed up. We could have all agreed to go vote, for my token, but I don't want to do that. I mean, if I win, I win. If I don't, at least I participated, and I've already done great with the channel. So good morning, Zda. Thank you for being here today. Zda, I don't think you ever went and bought any one of the tokens. Zda's in the Telegram group telling me all the reasons why he doesn't think this token's going to work instead of buying it. So hopefully you changed your mind, Zda, and actually went and bought a little bit of this token, because you could have been like Tim. You heard about this token at the same time as Tim did, and he's turned his 100 into 330. And folks, this is just going to grow, in my opinion. Today, they're going to go live tonight. I didn't mean to spend this much time on this stupid project. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm excited about it, but I really didn't mean to talk about it for this long. But they're going to go live tonight on a Twitter Spaces, announce the winner, and then they're going to go buy the tokens live tonight, where you can actually watch the wallet buy the winning token, and then see the people getting the airdrop. This thing is going to gain steam. Like, say that Render wins. They find out now that this Sosana token, that somebody nominated them and then they won. And now somebody, like 10 people are winning $300 worth of Render token. And then now they say, man, well, that's cool. We want to get our community into Sosana. Let's get Render nominated for the next 2-week period of time. And the thing that I thought is extremely cool about this, folks, is that, $3,600 for the 1% tax, that is not a small amount of money. That's going to grow, and that's going to be $10,000, $20,000 fairly quickly. And then when it gets too big, they're going to start doing this giveaway once a week. Excuse me. I talked about this last Wednesday, and I went on record as saying that this was one of the best ideas that I've seen in a long time. Like, I've got a guy that messaged me about a project called Looper. If any of you guys want to go look at a real turd of a coin, go look at Loop. Folks, I can't understand why anybody would buy it. It's got a 12% tax. 9% of that tax goes back to the holders. 2% goes to like marketing, and 1% gets burned. But that's all it does. So like, you go buy the token, you're paying 12% tax on the way in, 12% tax on the way out, and you got to hope that enough people come in and buy the token behind you to overcome that 24% tax. And it's basically just a great big huge Ponzi scheme. Like, there's no utility. It's providing no value for anything, where Sosana is providing value. You don't think, I don't want to go off too much on a tangent here, but I know there's a lot of you that don't like meme coins, and I'm one of them. Like, you've heard me talk about meme coins, but folks, this project, they made it meme-ish because meme coins are popular, and they wanted it to be fun. They wanted it to attract, a little bit of a gambling style and a fun investor, but at the same time, these are some serious projects here, at least some of them. Pyth is another serious project. I'm not sure. This Audius wormhole, I think, might be a serious project. So there's some good projects here. So every 2 weeks, you get to see what projects are getting nominated, because we're supposed to be looking for good projects. Like, I took my time and I voted for this Render and for Nosana because I think they're both incredible projects. But the value that Sosana is shining light onto all of these other projects, and then the guy that nominates the winning token actually wins $500. All of the people that voted for the winning token get an airdrop. And theoretically, like, if Nosana wins and you win $300 worth of Nosana, this is the token that I nominated. I want to show you guys Nosana real quick. This token is no joke. It's down at 65 cents right now. At its peak during last year, it was all the way up to $7.83. And guys, it has an incredible staking mechanism too, where depending on how long you want to stake this token for, you can earn a significant ROI on your tokens. So let's say that you had 1,000 tokens, which right now would cost you $650, right? At what I say, yeah, 65 cents. So $650 would get you 1,000 of these tokens. You can stake your tokens for 14 all the way. So at 14 days, you're going to end up at an 8.3% APR. That's not a bad APR. It's not like amazing, but it's not horrible. But look at this. If you just stake your tokens for 30 days, that goes up to 9.3. If you stake your tokens for 90 days, you're all the way up to 13%. And look at this, folks. If you really believed in this project, you could stake your tokens for 365 days and you'd be at 29.8% ROI or APR. So your 1,000 tokens would turn into almost 1,300 tokens. And folks, if you were to compound your rewards, it would turn into over 1,300, because as you're making this 0.82 NOS a day, you can compound it and stake it too. So, I mean, this is an incredible token, and I'll probably talk about it again on Wednesday. But by nominating this token, I just helped get, it's only 150 eyes, 157 holders, but I got 157 new people looking at NOS. In a couple of weeks to a couple of months, I think there's going to be multiple thousands of people that are holding this token. And I think the market cap is going to be tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions. This has the potential to go absolutely viral. And so even if you don't love meme coins, guys, this isn't technically a meme coin. The whole definition of a meme coin, in my opinion, is something that has no value, that doesn't have any utility, that doesn't help anybody. It's just, you're just hoping that people buy it because they like the picture of the dog or whatever the story behind it is. This thing has real utility. And this thing, in my opinion, is absolutely masterfully designed. One of the most exciting projects that I've come across in all of my days in crypto. And I said it on Wednesday, I'll say it again. I'm a little jealous that I didn't have this idea, that I didn't think about this, first, because I've been wanting to launch a token for a long time. So anyways, I'm done. I ain't going to talk about this anymore. Go join the Telegram group, though, if you haven't. Take a closer look. You can go, the websites at the top two. Sosana.io is the website. You can take a peek at their actual homepage. This goes through what, Sosana stands for Shiny Object Syndrome and Nothing Accomplished. You can read a little bit about, about them. You can, I'm hitting the wrong spot. You can read their about. You can, just check out their whole website. I think they did an amazing job on the website. I mean, I just absolutely love this project. We are going to be doing an interview this week with the founders of the project and giving away $100 worth of Sosana. Not sure if that's going to happen on Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday, but hopefully sometime in just the next couple of days, we're going to have the owners, the founder of this token, my friend Mark Ross and David Track, on here, really going through why they think this is going to be so massive. So with that, we're going to quit talking about that. We're going to go on to the next subject. So the next subject, guys, is I got some super exciting news. Not only do I think that what I'm going to tell you guys right now could make you more money in crypto than anything you've ever seen, but I think it's finally time that I put my money where my mouth is. And what I mean by that is I'm always talking about mindset, and I'm always talking about, hey, you're never going to out-earn your identity. You're never going to do better in life than you believe you're worth. You're never going to make more money than you think you deserve. You won't let yourself. And I realized I've been talking about creating and launching a token for years and years and years. I meant to grab the book. It's on a different bookshelf, but I literally read a book back in 1999 by an author named Robert Kiyosaki that authored a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And then he authored a book called Cash Flow Quadrant, and then many, many, many other books. But one of the things that he talks about in that book is that the way that the mega wealthy became mega wealthy is they normally have built businesses. And they've built businesses with systems. There's a big difference between owning, say, a landscaping company, and you go out every day and mow people's lawns and, you know, and trim their trees and all of that. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying, I've got a friend that's worth about $10 million that owns a landscaping company back in Washington State. Absolutely phenomenally wealthy, owns a ton of real estate, owns hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars in crypto. So I'm not saying that that's a bad business model. Now, I will tell you this. I don't know how long it's been since he's mowed a lawn. Like at this point, he built the business. He doesn't have to go mow the lawns. But what I'm saying is a lot of people start a business, and what they really do is they just own a job. Like, let's just say that you were working in a, you were working in a mechanic shop. And so you were getting paid so much per hour to show up and work from 9 in the morning till 5 at night or whatever that was. And you got paid an hourly wage, and say that hourly wage is 40, 50, 60, 75, $100 an hour. You're doing pretty good, but you kind of want the freedom. You want to own your own mechanic shop. And you're thinking that that's going to give you more freedom. You're going to have more ability to enjoy life. But what you'll find is that most of the time you go out, you go into debt to buy a mechanic shop, and you've got all of the bills for all of the hundreds of thousands of dollars of equipment. Now you've got employees on your payroll. You have to advertise. And a lot of times you are there before the first employee shows up, and you stay later than the last employee leaves. And all you really do is own a job. And I'm here to tell you that the people that make the most money are the people like how Elon Musk made all of his money, right? It was by selling companies. He created PayPal, him and another guy, I believe, or a couple other guys, and they sold PayPal for a bunch of money. If you look at Mark Cuban and Robert Herjavec, both of those guys built up a business and then sold it for hundreds of millions of dollars. And then the other way that you can make millions and millions and millions, potentially billions of dollars, is by taking a company public. Well, we all know that trying to create a company in the real world and take it public, it's not impossible, but you got to be a pretty special person to do that. And even if you have a great company, taking it public and jumping through all of the hoops to get it on the New York Stock Exchange, to get it on NASDAQ, all of that stuff puts it out of reach for 99% of the people. But cryptocurrency levels the playing field, folks. And not only can you launch a token, and I hope to inspire some of you guys to launch a token, but if any of you are sitting here watching this video and you've been thinking like, yeah, man, I've been thinking about launching a token for 5 years too. Well, maybe you will get inspired by what I am about to do, because Sosana and Mark Ross, and watching this token launch and looking at the life-changing money that it's made, like, you realize I screwed around, guys, and I didn't get into this token until it was almost $1 million market cap. This thing was fair launched. And when it launched originally, there was $7,000 in liquidity and $7,000 worth of Sosana tokens. The first people that jumped in and bought were able to get this thing at sub $100,000 market cap. It went to 100 grand like super quick. But even me, like, I watched it at 100 grand and I didn't buy any. Then I'm getting my notifications on the Telegram group. I'm seeing these notifications pop up, these buys, and all of a sudden it's at 175,000. Then it's at 300. And then I'm like, well, I'll wait for it to go down a little bit. It just jumped, all the way up to 300 in like no time. It's probably going to have a dip. Then it was 450. Then it was 600. Then it was 800. And finally at 750, 800,000, I'm like, I'm going to buy some, because I'm tired of just watching it go up. Like I could have already 7x'd my money if I would have just jumped in at 100 grand. And even if I would have jumped in at 300 grand, I would have over 2x'd. So I finally jump in at almost $1 million market cap. And now here we are, you know, the thing is sitting at, you know, 15 million. You know, technically I'm looking at it as, you know, it was half of that. I jumped into it at a 500,000 circulating supply market cap, and now it's 7,500. And it peaked up a little bit higher than that. I think we saw the token price was a little over 17 cents. I think it peaked at almost 19 cents. So it's come back just a little bit. But my point is, folks, I am launching a token. And I am super, super excited about it. Some of the things that Mark did with Sosana were so brilliant that I am going to, you know, emulate a little bit. But I think that my wife, my son, and I, we've just been racking our brain nonstop to come up with an idea. And I think that when you guys see what I am going to be launching, you guys are going to be super, super excited about it. It has a very charitable and giving back portion to it. It's very, very, in my opinion, going to be a really special token. It took me almost, you know, 10 years in crypto to figure out what I wanted to launch and what I could launch that actually made sense. Like I never wanted to launch a token that didn't make any sense, like this loop token. You know, create the loop token that nobody should buy, promote it real hard, and hope that, you know, I was able to make 50,000 or 250,000 or $1 million before it went under, and all of my community gets rug pulled. Like, so the reason that I think you guys should be excited about it is because over the next few weeks, we're looking to have it launched before Bitcoin 2025. We're hoping, you know, sometimes these things take longer, so there's no guarantees, but you guys are going to have an opportunity. This is going to be a fair launch token. There's not going to be a pre-sale. There's not going to be a private sale. We're going to get you guys, once we're getting within a couple weeks of the launch, we're going to share the Telegram group with you. You guys are going to have an opportunity to buy this token and be the very, very, very first people that buy this token. I believe that I've got a leg up. Like Mark Ross and David Track are amazing, amazing human beings, and they've got an amazing project. They don't have a YouTube channel. They don't have the influence that I have. I think that there's going to be several hundred people. Like I think if I would have launched Sosana, and maybe I'm being arrogant here, I don't think so, but I think if I would have launched Sosana, I think instead of having 150 holders, I think there's a very real possibility that we would already be up to 400 or 500, even maybe 1,000 holders, because I think that all of you that are watching this channel know me well enough to know that I'm not going to launch a rug pull, that I'm in it to win it, and that you're going to have an opportunity to maybe make some life-changing gains. Do you realize that if you could have got in on Mark's token at $100,000 market cap, that this thing, you watch this token, mark my words, there's no guarantees, but I believe his token is going to be $100 million plus market cap. And I don't think $1 billion is totally out of the realm of possibility. We shall see. But you realize if you would have got into his token at 100x, or I mean 1,000x, excuse me. All right. 1,000, I think it's 1,000x, right? My math, I hope. Yeah, it's 1,000x, right? 1,000 times 1,000. Or wait a minute, let me see. So 100, why am I having so much trouble? 100 million divided by 100,000 is 1,000x. Yeah. So I had an opportunity to jump into this thing and make 1,000x on it. Now, still, even getting in on it at $1 million market cap, it's still going to be potentially 100x for me. But in my opinion, I think you guys are going to absolutely love what we came up with, and I cannot wait to share more details with you, and hopefully it's going to get launched before Bitcoin 2024. So we're talking about a little over a month that we're going to have this put together. We're going to have the website, the smart contract, everything put together. And then, of course, you know, I own my YouTube channel. Nobody can tell me how often I can talk about my token. So, of course, I'm going to be talking about my token all of the time, and you guys are going to benefit from that. Those of you that are here early are going to benefit. So one of the things that I think you guys can do that not only helps me, but it helps you, is start putting together a list of people that you love and care about, and figure out how you can help them to just get $25, $50, $100 worth of this token. Like $100 worth of this token, if it 1,000X's is $100,000. You could literally maybe change one of your family members' life by telling them about this token, getting them into the Telegram group when we get it set up, and being ready to go buy the token when the contract goes live. If you're fast and buy this token early, I think there's going to be phenomenal life-changing money involved. And, you know, I'm excited about it for me too, because I think it's going to be amazing for my family and I, but it's also the skills. Do you realize one of the biggest reasons that you haven't launched a token and that I haven't launched a token is because we don't know how? And you start to look at the list of things that it takes to launch a token, and after you get to about the 22nd thing, you're like, oh my gosh, like there's a lot that goes into launching a token. You know, the smart contract, getting a good developer, auditing it, making sure that it's safe, making sure that it's secure, you know, getting the marketing in place, having a good idea. Like, but even just like now that we have a good idea, I think that the idea that we have and what we're going to launch, you guys are going to love it. I think it's a great idea, but there's still so much to do. And that's what's holding you guys back, a lot of you too. I'm sure that there's a bunch of you watching this going, yeah, man, I'd love to create a token too, but I don't know where to start. Well, guys, guess what? You didn't know how to ride a bike. You didn't know how to walk. You didn't used to know how to write. You didn't know the alphabet. You couldn't, if I, you know, like if I told you go write down on a piece of paper, you know, a sentence, you didn't know how. You had to go to school, man. Like you didn't know what 8 + 8 was until you went to school and learned. And so, folks, all of this stuff that I'm learning is all learnable. Like every one of you that's gone to high school, that's gone to college, you can learn how to launch a token. And so I'm also hoping to inspire you guys. When I talk about we ain't dreaming big enough, and that there's a lot of people watching this channel right now that are like, would be thrilled if they could get to $1 million portfolio. And I tell you, you're not dreaming big enough. Like the way the cryptocurrency markets are poised and the way that adoption is coming over the next 10, 15, 20 years, there's no reason that any of us that are in it this early shouldn't become worth tens, if not hundreds of millions. And I'm telling you, if you launch a successful token, you can create an amazing amount of net worth really quickly. You know, like just like people changed their life when they took a company public. You take a Bill Gates or somebody like that, and Microsoft was, you know, I don't know how much it was actually worth when it went public, but let's just say that it was worth 10, 20 million. And when it went public, it went to $1 billion, like almost overnight. People buying the stock and getting excited about it. Like it went to billions of dollars. He became the richest man on the planet in just a few short years, because he took the company public and because he owned a bunch of shares of Microsoft stock. And so I understand that, you know, the team tokens that we're going to keep for launching the token and doing what we do, those team tokens, you know, have the potential to become worth tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars. And you can launch your own token too. So I'm hoping, in the same way that my friend Mark Ross inspired me to get off my butt and to quit thinking about doing it, and to quit, you know, wondering if I'm capable and wondering if I'm worthy. And, you know, what makes me think I can launch a token? Like, who do you think you are, Brad? That imposter syndrome that we all have in our life. It was bogging me down too. And I'm so thankful for Mark, because A, he gave me an incredible idea, and B, watching him go through, like I talked to him in person the other day and I said, you know what, Mark, I think you created something here that is going to change thousands of people's lives financially if they invest and they get into it early, they get into it now. It's going to change a lot of investors' lives. But I said, Mark, I think you're going to make so much money from this project that it's going to change your life. You're going to make enough money from this project to totally, make tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars and totally change your whole family's financial legacy for decades and hundreds of years to come. You realize you create a token like this, if it goes to $1 billion valuation, that Mark and his partner are probably worth a couple $100 million. And that's pretty life-changing money. You get $100 million together, you can do some amazing things in life. And so anyways, I'm not going to say too much more about it, but I'm super excited, and I hope that you guys are super excited. I haven't had the comments up. I'm going to go look at the giveaway, or go look at the chat and see what you guys have to say. But hopefully all these years that you have spent supporting me and that you have been here on these live streams every day, hopefully it pays off. Now, the unfortunate truth is, I can't make any guarantees. I can't promise you that this project is going to be successful. But at the same time, I definitely believe that it's worth taking a shot at it. But I'm going to be a little sad because I know that there's a few of you watching this that are going to sit back and be like, well, let's see how it goes. This is the first project he's ever launched. I don't know if it's going to do well. And so I'm going to wait and see what it does. And you're going to be like me. And instead of buying tokens the first day, you're going to wait a couple of weeks. And instead of getting in, at a $100,000 or a $50,000 market cap and being in a position to 1,000x your money, you're going to wait till it's at a $10 million market cap. And yeah, you'll still make, from 10 million to 100 million, still a 10x. But man, when you could have made absolutely life-changing money by jumping in immediately, you're going to wait too long. And then there's some of you that are going to just never, ever get any of it, because now it's going to go to 10 million and you're going to be like, oh man, I missed it. Should have bought in when it was 50,000 or 100,000, but it's 10 million. It's going to retrace. It's going to go back to 2 million. I'm going to wait for the dip, and then it, ends up being 20 million, and so on and so forth. But I hope that you guys are excited as I am, and that you're going to have an opportunity to be the absolute first people that have an opportunity to get into this, that you guys can get an opportunity to take advantage of me launching a token, and hopefully it's life-changing for all of us. So, man, that's all I really got. I'm excited. I'm going to go spend the rest of the day today working on my token, working on the project, setting it all up, getting it all in place. And I cannot wait till we're to the point where I can share the website and share the mechanism, share the utility, share the idea that behind this token, get you guys into the Telegram group. We're also going, we're going to take a page right out of Sosana's notebook. I love this referral bot. Not only does, I've been in the chat now of Sosana for a few weeks, and I'm not seeing, normally a lot of these Telegram groups, they spring up and there's just a bunch of nonsense. There's a bunch of crazy talk. There's a bunch of people getting banned. There's just a bunch of stupidity. And this referral bot is getting rid of all of the idiots for the most part. I mean, I'm sure that there's been a few that have slipped through the crack. But the other thing that I like about this referral bot is it gives you guys an opportunity to benefit by referring and sharing this project with your friends. So we're going to have the ability, not only will you have the ability to jump in and buy this token first, but you're also going to have the ability for, 2 or 3 weeks from the time that we hopefully announce everything, start growing the Telegram group and the Twitter account and all of that. You guys are going to have 2 or 3 weeks where you can refer people that into the Telegram group, be telling your family about it, helping people create the right wallet and get a little bit of the right token set up so that they're ready to buy the token. And so you guys are really going to be able to, benefit from the referral bonus and stuff too. Like the first guy that referred the most people. He won $300 worth of Sosana. That $300 worth of Sosana, if he didn't sell it, is probably worth over $3,000 right now. And he referred, I think it was 31 people to the Telegram group during the first time period. And he won that $300, in Sosana tokens for referring his friends and family and stuff. So I really love the way that they're building their community. I love everything that they're doing. And, when it really comes down to it, I was watching Shaquille O'Neal the other day, and he was getting interviewed by a young man that created a social media channel called the School of Hard Knocks. I love this young man. He's 21, 22, 23 years old, but 4 or 5 years ago, as just a punk kid, I shouldn't say a punk kid. He's not a punk kid. He's a sharp young man, but as just a young man, this is where I go with, like, why didn't I think of this? Like, he's 18 years old. What makes him think that he's worthy of walking up to billionaires and people like Shaquille O'Neal and interviewing them? Can you imagine the first time he went and interviewed somebody? He didn't have any followers. Right now, he can go up and tell people, hey, I've got 100 million followers on social media, and most of my video interviews get like 10 million plus views. Is it okay if I interview you for a quick minute of your time? But in the beginning, he was a nobody. He's an 18-year-old kid, but successful people like to help young entrepreneurs. So when you walk, like if he walked up to me and said, hey, I see you got this Infinite Crypto shirt on. Are you a cryptocurrency investor? I'd say, yeah, absolutely. I am. And I own the Infinite Crypto YouTube channel. And if he said, man, I'm a young man that likes to, interview successful people. Would you give me a quick minute of your time? I'm going to say, absolutely. And that's what happened. He started interviewing people, and it started gaining traction. And then he was able to really start going out. He's interviewed Andy Elliott. He's interviewed, Bradley. He's interviewed Myron Golden. He's interviewed some of the top people in the world. And now, like I said, he's on this interview with Shaquille O'Neal. And when he asked Shaquille O'Neal, like, what's one of the best pieces of advice that you learned in your life that helped you to become successful? And Shaquille O'Neal basically said, there's nothing wrong with being a copycat as long as you're copying the right cat. So I will go on record. I'm not copying Sosana. I am taking some of the best things that they did and implementing them and adding my own ideas and stuff to it, in a sense, but I'm not competing with them. It's, anyway, I don't want to get into too many details, but I promise you, like, Mark is not going to be upset when he sees my project, but he inspired a lot of what I'm doing. And I just think that they really did so many things incredible right from the beginning. And I'm looking forward to, a couple weeks, hopefully 2-3 weeks, we'll be ready to announce everything to the world, give you our website, give you our Twitter, get you into the Telegram group. And then hopefully within a couple weeks after that, you guys are going to be able to buy this token. And hopefully, come June, July, a bunch of people that are watching this video and that got in early are sitting on a 10, 20, 50, 100x in their portfolio because of this token launch. So with that, guys, God bless you all. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow on the Trader Tuesdays live stream. Have a fantastic rest of your Monday, and we will talk soon. Eric, I'm going to message you after this is over. I need to get in touch with you. So if you're around, Eric, be taking a peek at your Telegram channel. With that, folks, have an amazing day, and we will talk soon. Once again, last but not least, if you really see the vision and you like Sosana, go get in their Telegram group, go buy $50 and go vote on a token. I don't care whether it's mine or not, but if you vote on the right token, you're going to get $50, $100, $200, $300 worth of that token. And I also believe that the $50 worth of the Sosana that you buy is going to continue to go up and become worth more and more money too. So it's not like you're buying $50 in Sosana and then you have to spend it to vote. Like, it doesn't cost you any of your Sosana to vote. It's free to vote. You just got to have the $50 worth of tokens in your wallet to vote. So in my opinion, you know, not financial advice because I'm not a financial advisor, I would highly recommend getting a hold of at least $50 worth of this token and voting on a project every 2 weeks. You know, for those of you that can afford it, why not get $500 worth and be able to not only nominate a project, but you can also vote on a project. So that's all I'm going to say about Sosana, but it's the #1 project that I'm the most excited about right now. If you literally said, hey, Brad, I got $10,000 in my pocket unexpectedly, and I'm not exactly sure what I should go buy, Sosana is what I would tell you. You know, like if we were on a private phone call and we were, you know, in a spot where I could give you financial advice, because I'm not, but like if you were on a private phone call with me, I wouldn't be going and telling you to buy Bitcoin. I wouldn't be telling you to go buy, you know, no Sauna even. This project in my mind has the potential to do absolutely amazing things. And I know the owners well enough to know they're not going anywhere. They're in this for the long term. They're high integrity, high ethical, incredible people with good intentions, and they came up with an incredible project. And so why would I tell you to go put your money into a token that's already worth 100 million or 500 million or several $billion when I think you could get in on this token at $7.5 million market cap and potentially make absolutely life-changing money? The only thing that I would say is save a few bucks to invest in my project next month. Don't blow your whole wad on Sosana. Save a couple of bucks. But maybe you go invest in Nosana, and then you take a little bit of profit next month after you've 2 or 3 or 4 or 5x'd your money in Sosana. That'll give you some money that you can invest in my project more risk-free. I don't know. But for right now, this project is where I am accumulating and where I am dollar cost averaging and getting more of it. And then, of course, when my own project launches, that's going to be obviously my #1, you know, my #1 project and my favorite, my baby. And so you probably hear so much about my project once it launches that you get sick of hearing about it. But anyways, guys, I'm just excited. And the biggest reason that I'm excited is just because I made a decision. And I'm following my passion in life. If the project that I launch in a month doesn't work, that'll be okay. You know, most multi-millionaires have created many businesses that failed. So I don't believe that I'm going to fail in this endeavor. But if it does, guess what? I'll come up with a new idea. I'll learn from my mistakes. I'll know what I did wrong, why it didn't work, and I'll go fix those problems, create a new project with new knowledge, new experience. And if the first project don't work, the second one will. And if the second one doesn't work, the third one will. But here in the very, very near future, I'm going to be a co-founder of a project that has a tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars in market cap. And I'm excited to be on the path, man. Just being on the path is such a huge step in life. You know, most people never actually get into the game. They all sitting on the sidelines talking about all of the people that are in the game. And so the reason I'm so excited is not even because of whether or not I'm going to be successful or not, but I'm just proud that I finally got off my butt and decided to get into the game instead of watching everybody else from the sidelines. So hopefully today was inspiring to you in some shape, manner, or form. And I love you all. God bless you all. Thank you for watching. Have a fantastic day, and we will see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye for now.